Well, folks, at least you know that we do actually show up. Sorry for the lateness. Just some things just needed doing, but you know we're here. Hopefully, no. Oh, got a commercial for Fiverr before it goes to the lo-fi. Here we go. There we go. Well, it's Sunday. It's time for you to put down whatever you're doing. Hey, Prez, how you doing? Put down whatever you're doing. Pull up a seat. Have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, or in the case of some people who actually like to do this, flaming hot Mountain Dew, or some people that just like to have an ice water with lemon twist. This is Sunday Night Live, where we like to think most rational thought and discussion is ever present, and then Oni wakes up. I feel a disturbance in the stupid. Madam President, I require my microphone. No! Why not? You have to wash the dishes.
You have to complete Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, he's playing that again?
Well, he's playing the final one in the Ratchet and Clank series to date, Rift Apart.
Ah, okay. Well, as ever, we have a slew of topics. One I want to go into, and it's not what too many of you are thinking. This is actually something I tried to do last week, but we were stalled for time. And it's actually in how legendary Hollywood actress Sharon Stone actually helped a young and up-and-comer at the time of Leonardo DiCaprio. Sharon Stone paid DiCaprio's and Russell Crowe's salaries for The Quick and the Dead. Leonardo DiCaprio still remembers Sharon Stone's generosity. In her 2021 memoir, Stone revealed that she backed hiring a then unknown DiCaprio for a role in the 1995 movie The Quick and the Dead. The studio said if I wanted him so much, I could pay him out of my own salary. So I did. DiCaprio told E! News this week that he has thanked Stone many times for that act. I don't know if I sent her an actual physical thank you gift, but I cannot thank her enough, said the actor. Stone was a producer on the film and also has also asked for Russell Crowe to appear in the movie directed by Sam Raimi. That I did not know. She said, "These are the two actors I want to work with." DiCaprio recalled, "It's incredible. She's been a huge champion of cinema and giving other actors opportunities, so I'm very thankful." Stone said in a memoir that DiCaprio was the only one who nailed the audition. In my opinion, he was the only one who came in and cried, begging his father to love him as he died in the scene. All I can say is to Sharon, that's an incredibly, um, generous and giving, and being able to recognize talent. I know that there are some people who are detractors of Leonardo DiCaprio, but you cannot deny his acting talent. When you look at things like Shutter Island, The Aviator, and one of my personal favorites, Catch Me If You Can. And of course, you know, we can never not talk about Titanic because that's another movie that pretty much established him as an international superstar. He's pretty much a standard bearer of how to get into the head of a character, and Sharon Stone, in her own right, fantastic actress, great storyteller. Um, some of us, quite a few of us, probably remember her more fondly for Basic Instinct, but, well, Raiden will probably agree, is like, yes, sir. Um, but she is one of those few acting talents, and I'm saying this objectively down the middle, one of the very few that has the combined 100% combined balance of beauty matched more so by her talent, because you watch Basic Instinct and you know there's something not right with her. As Raiden would say, you can feel bad vibes, but at the same time you're like, how you doing?
Right.
She was one of my crushes in the 90s, and people are like, why would you have a crush on her in the 90s? Because I would stay up and watch Basic Instinct when I wasn't supposed to. But any teenager back in the day who's, in their 20s or 30s, that was a teenager in the 90s that said, oh, I never watched, 18 rated movies back when I was younger. Bullshit. You did. We all did. I'm not saying that makes it right, but we've all gone and done it. So, yeah. Yeah. Not much more I can say with regards to that. Sir Stephen, your 2 cents?
Not that much that I can add to it either. No, my mind's drawing a blank.
All right. Cyber Raiden, your thoughts?
Hey, great gesture. It's more establishes that like Hollywood isn't that much cruel. The good thing is really you do, you know, great things. Simple as that.
Madam President, what's your thoughts on that, or are you of a similar perspective?
Just a sec. I got a visitor. Give me a second.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Well, I can't really add much to that. It's like it's very admirable. So I can't really add much of anything. So I'm in the same consensus. So there you go.
Alrighty then. On to something that's kind of not really been a rumor per se, but it's something that we've all been kind of expecting since 2007. And that is The Simpsons Movie 2 is rumored to be in the works.
Okay.
Oh?
The Simpsons fans have been hoping to see a second movie ever since a sequel was teased during the credits of the first movie, and a sequel might actually be in the works according to a new rumor. The Simpsons hit the big screen with their very first movie outing back in 2007, and was such a hit that fans have been hoping to see another one ever since. It's become such a topic that a sequel has was even joked about in other Matt Groening shows like Futurama, and the talk of a new Simpsons movie has been floating around even more so in the last few years. Talks of a potential sequel has been heating up ever since 20th Century Fox was bought by Disney, with those behind the scenes noting that they still had hope for one to happen, considering how far talks had gone before the World event in 2020. A new rumor relayed by the Hollywood scooper, Jeff Snyder, stated that the 20th Century Fox wants James L. Brooks, Matt Groening, and the staff behind the series to start working on a new sequel. As relayed in Snyder's piece, 20th Century Fox is rumored to be financing James L. Brooks' new film, Ella McKay, who will be starring Emma Mackey as a young politician juggling life while preparing to take over as governor, as a way to potentially convince Brooks to work on a new Simpsons movie. It's only the first step in a larger production process, even if Brooks agrees, but it is something that has had interest, at least from the creative side of things, for quite a while. The Simpsons showrunner Al Jean previously told comicbook.com that talk of a new Simpsons movie had been happened prior to the World event. We were really talking about it a lot before the World event, and now I think, just as a caution, I want to see how movies, and specifically animated movies, come back, because I wouldn't want to do it as a streaming experience. No. There are certain movies it has to be on the big screen. So, for example, Rocky Balboa, big screen. Something like Knight Rider SG, as much as I'm a big Knight Rider mark, that's TV, because of the way it was produced and what have you. Man of Steel, big screen. Jurassic Park, if this was being done back in the day, you wouldn't put Jurassic Park out on straight to VHS. You put it on the big screen where it belongs. We really want it to be a theatrical movie because that was the point of the first one. If it was a thing you couldn't get anywhere else. I'm going to the movies. I'm vaccinated. I'm really rooting for the movie industry, but I want to see what personally the landscape is. And they also have so many great movies. I think they have five Avatar movies, 5 Star Wars movies in waiting. Oh, good lord. 5 more movies of disappointment and ready to go. Right, I'm just gonna pick up these dominoes, and each one it puts down slander, 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 slander. The slander dominoes.
Star Wars won't be great. Sorry to divulge the topic a bit, but Star Wars won't be great until Kathleen Kennedy is kicked out of Lucasfilm. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. There's so many great. We already did a bit. So they have to roll out, and we're going to see Black Widow this weekend. I'm going to support the theater, even though I have Disney Plus. Let me see. Considering how long
2007 when the first one came out, right?
Yeah, and even then, they'd been working on the movie script with so many rewrites for about the better part of a decade plus. So, I think what Groening's trying to do is, because they literally pulled out all the stops for the very first movie, it's like... Let me see. It's like if you do the very first Spider-Man movie, you're very impressed with what the first movie did, the second one's got to be even bigger. And a similar thing with Batman Begins. The Dark Knight had to crush Batman Begins. So, what they could do with a Simpsons 2, you're going to have to do something that is not going to make the first movie look terrible, but it's more like complementing it, but still making the story grander and bigger, if that makes any sense. At the moment, I'm going to wait to hear of a synopsis and a teaser trailer at the very least, and a teaser trailer just recently dropped for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths for Part 1. That looks sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, too long, didn't listen, proof in the pudding will be in the eating. Cyber Raiden, your take.
Hey, I'm always down for another Simpsons movie. I thought the first one was pretty good. Plot was like, but still, I felt like, you know, after different days, especially with Homer just being stupid. Da, 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 da. Now, if it was up to me, I would have got rid of the waste, and I don't know, get the donuts. Then, unbeknownst to me, the waste with the waste enters the stuff. It's like, wait, what? I thought. Trust me, Marge. I put it there. And after that, I got donuts. What's that? But yeah, movie itself was pretty good. So the second movie, I don't know what plot they're gonna do, but you know. I think for me, what I'm looking forward to the most is the promotional stuff, because I remember every 7-Eleven was transformed into a Quickie Mart. That was a pretty good detail. So I'm really wondering what they're gonna do next. So, but all in all, like you said, I'll wait for a trailer and a plot. Simple as that. But looking forward to it. I mean, yeah, I don't really watch that much Simpsons as much.
No.
Only time I watch Simpsons is when they do the Treehouse of Horror stuff.
Oh,
So you know. So with the movie, I'll definitely check it out.
Madam President?
I would like it's better late than never. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of glad that like it's at least getting a sequel. And in a way, I kind of like there's an idea that like Oni and I have been like fishing around in our head, like make it like a bit of like I know everybody's doing it, but make it like a multiverse movie, because the hint that we got from that is the latest Treehouse of Horror, where spoilers for anybody who didn't watch it, Sideshow Bob actually killed Bart at the end of his little song of the HMS Pinafore. So
Ah.
you'd have to watch in order to understand that, because it's actually a really good setup that they did with that. So I recommend watching at least that segment from this year. I will admit that it's a really good segment. But I would actually like to see like different events play out differently how they were, and then like our Simpsons family just traveling through the multiverse. I know that they technically did a parody of Into the Spider-Verse in one of the other Treehouse of Horror, but I would actually like to see this fleshed out a little bit more instead of doing something really silly. So
Okay.
if they could do that, I would be okay with that. Or like extend their Treehouse of Horror segment, make it like actually be out on Halloween, or it's like it's a little bit longer and we get more stuff. Make it something fun at least. Don't make it like the typical line where it's like we get like the Simpsons movie itself. We kind of have to acknowledge that it exists. It's canon.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are completely forgotten, like, oh, I don't know, Spider Pig? Where did he go?
Well, he does make a few appearances here and there, but it's very sporadic.
Mm-hmm. And the movie itself, and the movie is still canon, because there's some people who does come back. I think it was the curling episode that happened a few years. A woman that helped out Homer, acknowledges his selfishness, goes up again. So there's still some things.
All right. Well, again, I will admit, if they can tool around or play with the plot of this movie or do what they need to, it's like I would actually like to see a version of everything everywhere all at once in a way, but told through The Simpsons that way. That would actually be kind of fun. But all in all, I'm glad that we're getting a sequel. So that's all I can say. I'm glad we're at least getting a sequel to this movie, because it's been way too long. So.
Yep. I'm just responding to something Dan's saying in the comments. Says, will you get in trouble with Twitch if you refer to it as anything other than the world event? With some things on Twitch, Dan, it's best just to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the other question, I think he's asking, I've only seen clips of the South Park's recent special.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I've only seen like screen caps, of the characters played by clearly different characters in the special, so I can't really comment on it, but because it's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, you know they're not going to give a damn. They
course.
They
never.
basically turned they made a parallel version of Kathleen Kennedy into basically a Cartman.
Okay. Steve, did you
I still,
give?
need, I still need to finish that.
Steve, did you give your thoughts on The Simpsons 2?
No.
Go ahead.
For me, I think they have to be very careful of what kind of story they need to tell for the sequel. Considering how many years have passed since the
Yes.
first movie came out, and how many
Yeah.
changes in the world and everything else, etc., etc. Another part of me thinks that this might be Disney exploring other avenues to try and get more money in, considering, as I've mentioned previously, Disney are struggling financially. So they might be thinking about how to do that and how to gain funds through other avenues. Having another Simpsons movie does sound like a good idea for potential, if, and this is a big if it's done right.
Exactly. Therein lies the basic problem with Disney. I don't mean to cut you off there. Therein lies the basic problem with Disney at the moment. They put out subpar writing with things like the Marvels, Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, and then they're surprised by the poor box office returns. And the same thing could and the same thing could be said. Same thing could be said with the most recent Star Wars movies. You feed, think of Disney as a restaurant. So Mickey Mouse's Pizzeria or Mickey Mouse's Pizza Pie. You feed your patrons. So say Oni comes in and he's now wearing a Mickey Mouse hat. There you go, fan artist. There's your inspiration for the day. He's in there and he's there to have the Mickey special. Let's just say it's pepperoni, peppers, and pineapple for the sake of discussion. And it's half baked. What do you think Oni's going to do? Aside from raging and then possibly throwing cans across the floor. By the way, don't do that, dude. That's kind of like very poor etiquette, but that's besides the point. He's not going to be happy. And I know that's not really narrowing the field down much with Oni, but you treat any customer in a restaurant with half-baked meals, they're going to turn around, they're going to complain, and they're going to walk out. That is the problem with Disney as we speak right now. They need to actually sit in the seats as the people they're trying to entertain actually watch it through the audience's eyes and look and think, we need to do better. We actually need to actually start crafting the stories, get the right... I don't think it's necessary to saying... I mean, yes, you always need to find the right actors and actresses for the role specifically, but you also need to media train certain acting talent not to go off on political tangents. Looking in your corner, Rachel Zegler. Here's the thing. I don't know what she's capable of as an actress, so I can't comment on how good or how not so good she is. But the tangents she was going on in press statements for Snow White, it's like, this is someone you do not need representing your company. I mean,
weird.
I mean, Gal Gadot did a much better job and actually, because Rachel would refer to Snow White as a cartoon, whereas Gal would say it's an animated feature. She, was much more of a consummate professional, and again, Zegler is not somebody you want representing your movie. How she is as an actress, don't know. Haven't watched her. And with an attitude like hers, I'm likely not to care either. And so, Stephen, my apologies. I turn the floor back over to you in full.
Because continuing on from that argument, it's a lot of the films that Disney are making at the moment are appealing to the DEI kind of roll call, basically, in order to get them more funding. As a result, a lot of the projects are failing. Wish came out this weekend, and it's not making enough figures that Disney are hoping for. So, in terms of The Simpsons, I'm going in with a core. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going in with a bit of caution. Until we hear anything or there is a teaser trailer, I'm gonna hold my guns.
So it's basically, there's two ways you could phrase it: keeping your expectations low so you don't get disappointed, or going expecting disappointment so that way you don't get disappointed.
Very much so.
All right. Okie dokie. Let's see. Ooh, this may provide some interesting forms of topic or nightmare fuel, depending on your perspective.
Certain point of view.
Willem Dafoe reveals details about his character in Beetlejuice 2.
Oh God!
Imagine if he was playing Beetlejuice. Actually, no. He'd enjoy that way too much.
What if we got Michael Keaton and Willem Dafoe in there?
Wow. Oh, well. Beetlejuice 2 is one of the many films that recently resumed production now that the WGA and SAG strikes are officially over. Thank the good Lord for that. Tim Burton is returning for the sequel, with Michael Keaton back as the titular character alongside Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz and Catherine O'Hara as... Oh, they actually got Catherine back as well, as Delia Dietz. New additions to the story include Jenny Ortega, I love that woman, Willem Dafoe, Justin Theroux, and Monica Bellucci. Okay. While attending the Marrakesh Film Festival, Dafoe spoke to Variety and shared some information about his new character. I haven't seen any footage yet, but yeah, it was fun to do. I play a police officer in the afterlife, so I'm a dead person. And in life, I was a B-movie action star. I had an accident, and that's what set me to the other side. But because of my skills, I became a detective character in the afterlife, so that's my job. But it's colored by the fact of who I was when I was alive, a B-movie action star. Michael Keaton and Tim Burton are returning to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the most effing fun you can have working, Keaton previously shared with Empire. It's so fun, it's so great, and you know what it is? We're doing it exactly like we did in the first movie. There's a woman in the great waiting room for the afterlife, literally with a fishing line. I want people to know this because I love it. Tugging on the tail of a cat to make it move. Okay. Keaton added, Bert and I were talking about it years and years ago, never telling anybody. I said, if it happens, first of all, we've both said we're doing it many times. We both agreed it has to be as close to the way we made it the first time. And the first movie was uber nightmare fuel. Making stuff up, making stuff happen, improvising and riffing, but literally handmade stuff like people creating things with their hands and building some effing great stuff. Yeah, effing great. It's the most fun I've had working on a movie. I can't tell you how long. Honestly, I don't really know because I'm not really that good at talking or speaking or trying to sell something, so to speak. Looking back, it's very, very strange journey and I can't quite explain. Burton told The Independent when asked about thriving in Hollywood, that's why it's hard for me to watch the movies afterwards because I still feel the emotion, whatever of it. I don't get a release from that, but I do enjoy all the people I've worked with. On this last one, Beetlejuice 2, I really enjoyed it. I tried to strip everything back and go to the basics of working with good people, actors, and puppets. It was kind of like going back why I liked making movies. Beetlejuice 2 is currently scheduled to release in theaters on September 6, 2024.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, we don't really know how Defoe is going to look, but considering it's revealed he's playing a detective in the afterlife, there's going to be some otherworldly visual aesthetics about him. Yeah, something caught in my throat. And the fact that Winona's back, great. Catherine O'Hara, great. Especially with, you know, that scene at the dinner table with her and everybody else with daylight come and he won't go home. You know, where they're all miming out to that. It's just
Banana boat song.
Oh,
yeah. It's one of those you could try to describe it, but it's better just to watch, appreciate it, laugh at it, and feel it.
You have to take it in.
Does make me wonder if I know it was Alec Baldwin that was the husband. Was it Gina Davis that was the wife? Or
yeah, Gina Davis. Gina Davis was the wife.
hopefully they make a return, because it wouldn't feel right without them. And also, I have to say, as an actress, Gina Davis is so underrated. It's criminal. And fact worth knowing, her first acting job was a season 2 episode of Knight Rider. Yep.
Interesting.
She was in the episode Kit the Cat, where they're trying to uncover, solve a mystery of a cat burglar that supposedly passed away years ago, and yet he's supposedly alive and well in the episode. And it actually featured, I'm not kidding, a visual shot of Kit turbo boosting over one building to another. Now, for obvious reasons, that was done with a miniature, but it's just that visual shot that he's gone up to the parking lot on one building and turbo boosted over to the building where he's being shot at by a crooked cop. So make of that what you will. The fact that Burton says it's going to be in the same tone and spirit as the first movie and take it back to basics, as long as this is old school Burton and not so much new school, because from what I've heard down the years with Burton, his movies are, some appreciate them, some not so much. Because when you think of Tim Burton, like in his absolute best, you think of Batman, you think of A Nightmare Before Christmas, you think of Beetlejuice, you know, you think of these movies that have got these very otherworldly feels to them, especially Batman Returns. And as I had Madame President with her Avatar, I was like, you went full Tim Burton. Never go full Tim Burton. The fact that has never been made a meme is just criminal. But give me a trailer.
Correction. Okay. Tim Burton did had something to do with Night Before Christmas, but he never directed. That was Henry
He was
Selick.
producer.
Beg your pardon,
Yeah.
sir. Beg your pardon. So I want to see a trailer, because we know Michael Keaton has still got it, and then some, because what little I did see of the Flash from clips, he's still got it as the Bat. I'm just a little bit bemused we will never see the Batgirl movie, will never see the light of day. Thank you, Warner Brothers executive, who I shall not name because it enrages Madam President and Senator Rikaku.
And me. Look at me.
Because, folks, you don't want to see her go Margin Lydia.
No.
I've not had a chance to read it as such, Dan, but I do get around to reading these things eventually. It's just when you're juggling full-time work, doing this, and doing my movie reviews as well, it's very rare when I get a moment where it's like, stop, rest, relax, and curl up with a good book.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wait to see a trailer, but if Keaton is going to be anything like how he was in the original, because the original movie I think was 87, 88. So it's been a few years. But we know he's still got, Keaton's still got the acting chops. So proof in the pudding is in the eating. Sir Stephen.
I am glad to see that Keaton had a ball working on the movie. But and hearing about what Willem Dafoe's role is going to be as like a police officer in the afterlife, I'm just imagine Beetlejuice having a heck of a time just poking him pretty much and having fun with him, too much to Defoe's character's chagrin. It's pretty much what I can see happening. If that is the case, I'm all for it. Because that kind of stuff reminds me of The Mask and Lieutenant Calloway from The Mask cartoon.
Oh, yes. It does make me wonder if for promotional work that they do with this, what if they release Beetlejuice the Animated Series onto DVD and Blu-ray?
I would love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because the thing I noticed they actually did with that series, they actually set up Beetle and Lydia as an actual couple. And remember, one episode they actually go into his world to meet his parents, which turned out to be one of those, oh, this is becoming a thing.
The Neither World.
Yeah, and the voice
I think
actor
that's what they call it.
and the voice actor they got for Beetle, he knocked it out of the park.
He did.
Wonder who voiced him. I'll actually look that up.
Because it wasn't Jim Cummings, I know that much. But it should be interesting.
I think I've said my piece.
Okay. Raiden, your 2 cents.
Hey, I'm all for it. I mean, I watched a little bit of the first movie, and personally, I had a crush on Winona Ryder's Lydia. So
Who didn't?
Yeah, I think with the first movie, I love the visuals. I'm always a sucker for stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And anime series.
Sorry, was just looking up the information regarding the actor. Apparently, the voice of Beetlejuice in the cartoon was also Archangel in X-Men and, believe it or not, Pompadour in the Babar cartoon.
Whoa.
Oh shit. That's a name I haven't heard in years, bro.
I was about to say Babar. It's like, wow, that's a name. There's a name I've not heard for a long time.
And it's just the fact that he voiced Pompadour of all characters, going from that to Beetlejuice.
Damn.
I'm just blown.
Well, who is the actor in question?
Stephen Umiti. A name that I'm not too familiar with. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, like I said, with the animated series, I watched a lot growing up, so it kind of helped me watch the movie itself, and I enjoyed it. So, and to hear Willem Dafoe be happy about play the character, especially a cop, for me, it takes me back when he was in Boondock Saints, with his zany personality and how he basically recreate the scene where the brothers were doing the crime. So I kind of want to see stuff like that, but of course I want to see Willem Dafoe. I don't even have to say anything. It's Willem Dafoe. Simple as that. Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to Beetlejuice 2. Really happy that Jenna Ortega is getting another role, and God bless her for Solidarity solidarity for getting off the screen for what they did to Melissa Barrera, but we're going to let that go for a bit. But God bless, because that done with the Scream franchise. Yeah. Aside from all that, can't wait to see what Willem Dafoe is going to do and look for the whole movie itself.
And last but never least, Madam President, your thoughts?
I mean, I am looking forward to seeing a sequel. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have been happy if there was just one movie and that's it. I would have been okay with that, because I'm okay with both the movie and the animated series, which are my personal favorites. Especially considering I have the name of one of the characters. Just again, like I had to live with being bullied with that name for through elementary school. So it's like, yeah,
that's not cool.
I kind of wear that. I wear that as at this point. I wear that as a badge of honor. So it's fine. But again, hearing a lot of what they're talking about, I'm 100% okay with what's gonna happen. Especially having Willem Dafoe in this movie, I'm like, okay, are you gonna give Keaton enough scenery to chew, or are you just gonna give it to Dafoe? Are you just gonna give it to Dafoe? Come on.
I say.
But all in all, I'm really. No, sorry, go ahead.
I say, Madam Lydia, Sir Anthony Hopkins, would like to join this movie as well. Raiders
no. You over there. You go there.
It's like Raiden said.
Yeah,
it's like Raiden said. We have got to stop meeting like this.
But all in all, I'm kind of like happy that they're getting a sequel. I would have preferred that there wasn't one, but happy that they are trying and they're putting some investment, and they brought some people back from the original. Like, come on, you can't have the Beetlejuice without Tim Burton.
Nope.
So, yeah, and again, you can't have this movie without Lydia Dietz. So,
nope.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for this. It's like but I need to see a trailer before I can make a complete final decision, though.
Aight. One quick moment, just before we go to the next topic, because I'm literally running out of Monster, and the next topic, I'm going to need a very oiled throat for this. Raiden knows.
Boy.
Oh my.
Oh no.
Boy.
Oh no.
Oh my.
No, not that type of fun.
Oh no.
Is this going to be the sort of fun where Mickey James is? No, because Madam President will not let you go walking up to her on the subway. That's right, I won't. He's listening to this letter, like, I'm going to kill him. Hang on, go into it. Okay, and beginning drama and maniacal laughter in 3, 2, 1.
I am in pain. Existence is pain.
Don't worry, Lydia. I'm gonna sing karaoke all night long.
Shut up, Hogan. Get it.
No, please don't.
I, Hulk Hogan, will sing Unchained Melody. And everyone's like, shh! Get off the stage right now.
No.
Oh, God. Gouge my ears out. Yeah, I'm deaf.
That would be like Hogan, like, you know, if people really like wanted to get like that negative reaction, it's like, that'd be like him doing like a karaoke version of 50 Cent in the club. Raiders like, dude, no, just no. Fans are shocked by CM Punk's return at Survivor Series. Fans still can't believe that Punk has returned to the WWE during the Survivor Series premium live event. There are a number of former superstars that the fans want to see in action, but are less divisive than CM Punk. As one of the most notorious superstars in WWE's past roster, fans weren't ever really expecting him to see him making a comeback, especially given that he was just part of the AEW roster not long ago before he was fired. But now CM Punk is back in the WWE. Rumors had been circulating back and forth about Punk potentially returning to the WWE during the War Games in Chicago, and while fans never really guessed one way or another, it was confirmed that Punk is back in action as he arrived during the literal final moments of the event itself. While still fans have no idea what's in store for Punk's future with the company or how long his return will last, they still can't believe that the superstar has returned. Read on to see what fans are saying about Punk being back in the WWE. My heart stopped. WTF, CM Punk is here. OMG. I feel like that's parodying what he said about Kevin Nash some 12 years ago. CM Punk is back. God bless Triple H. I knew it. I told you, I knew it. CM Punk is back in WWE after a near decade absence. We are back. The dream has come true. He's back and I couldn't be happier. CM Punk's entered in WWE. He's back. I can't breathe. Me to Triple H for bringing CM Punk back to WWE. You did it. Why do you care so much about a fake sport? It's scripted. Grown men in tights wrestling. That's so cringe. IDC, MF, Randy Orton, and CM Punk both returned on the same night. So many returns. R-Truth is back. Randy Orton is back. And CM Punk is back. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince them that he didn't exist. Okay, I'm not touching that one with a 50-foot flagpole. It's like, no.
Nope.
Leaving that well alone. Biggest moment of the year. Punk returns to WWE after 9 years after leaving it. WWE treated it as a top military secret. To be fair, I'll give them kudos. They did keep this so well under wraps, with nobody even having a bit of an idea about it happening. Everyone killed the rumors saying it won't happen, and it did. Has got to be the moment of the year in professional wrestling.
Depends on who you ask.
That's true. My 2 cents is, and I'm going to pull a page from Cody Rhodes' playbook. There are those that don't think too much of him. There are those that love him. There are those that are like, I can watch him. At the end of the day, if he's here to steer the WWE in a direction that the company wants to go in, then he's going to bring in the money. He's going to to quote Tony Schiavone from '99, he's going to put butts in them seats. I get where you're coming from, Lids, but it's like Triple H said in the post-press interview. Positive, negative, divisive, hated, loved. He's a conversation starter. He gets people talking. Which is why, like I said on Discord, and I think I may have said this on my Twitter as well. I'm not calling it X, it's Twitter. Monday Night Raw is going to be very interesting tomorrow night.
Oh boy.
And the footage that I saw of Seth Rollins looking absolutely livid. Now, if and this is a big if that is a work, he's pulling off some damn good acting.
Oh, it's not a work, it's a fucking shoot.
Either way, it's going to be an interesting run up, and I'm in a similar mindset, and I've been saying this for especially on RDR over the course of its 3-year run. When you look at some of the stories that get set up for WrestleMania, go right back to Survivor Series. 2 I can name in particular. Kane and Taker for Mania 20. It began with Kane burying his brother whilst he was in the American Badass persona in a Buried Alive match against Vince McMahon. And then at the same event, the first encounter of Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, which led to their 20-minute intimate staring, snooze fest contest. And by the way, when Lesnar double flipped the bird at the crowd, he wasn't doing that to the crowd. He was doing that to Vince because he and Vince did not end things on good terms at the time. But then he just so happened to like turn around and he inadvertently gave Austin a double bird, which you're signing your own stunner when you do that. Because rules with Stone Cold. If he offers you a beer, you take one. I personally wouldn't do it because I'm straight edge, but you know, that's just me. But if you talk trash with Austin and if you give him the double bird, it's just like, really? And if you look at Survivor Series 2015, Roman's literally just become the WWE champion. But then he gets accosted by Sheamus, cashes in Money in the Bank, and then that set up Roman versus Triple H for Mania 32, which was not one of the better WrestleManias, which Raiden can attest as well. So I am going to make a prediction for now until things change. WrestleMania 40, World Heavyweight title, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Who will win? I don't know. It depends on how Seth feels about it. Because you know that Triple H is probably going to sit down with the pair of them and say, look, I get that there's heat between you two, but still at the same time, go out and do it professionally. And the fact that Triple H even posed with Punk in a photo and the caption reads, gotta be a mighty cold day in hell, considering some of the things that Punk said about him during the podcast 9 years ago this month. Now, I'm probably going to get some flack for this. I happen to be a fan of CM Punk. Not for some of the stuff that he's done personally, because I still think he has some things that he needs to be held accountable for. But at the same time, I like the character, and I like some of the things that he stood for, and he is the reason I went straight edge. Because he cut a promo in the build-up to him versus Jericho at Mania 28, where he'd done promos about straight edge before when he was the Straight Edge Society, which I wasn't a fan of that stable, but they were well written. But then again, Punk knew what he was doing with that because he actually fed the writers notes for that. But he cut a promo that made it so positive to be straight edge because his father in real life actually overcame alcoholism, and that is why he said he is proud to be straight edge. And at the time, I was just having the occasional glass of white wine every once in a while, and I remember thinking about that promo the day after, and I'm looking at this glass of wine. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I drinking this, even though I'm not really getting what I want? So whatever was left, downed it, and I have not touched that since February 24, 2012. I have been off of alcohol since then. Never looked back. So there's going to be a lot of not necessarily heart to heart, but having civil discussions, because Triple H is not going to allow the kind of commotion that happened in AEW that had Punk exit. So it's not in a similar vein to how Austin walked out, but in the context of what happened when Austin returned. Austin had to go around and apologize, be a man, make amends with a lot of people, and I think Triple H will probably set up something similar where he says, look, he's part of the company, like it or lump it. You can either choose to get along, or there's the door. Because at the end of the day, Triple H is not a competitor anymore. He's a businessman, and he's in charge of creative, and I think his focus going forward is for everyone to be professional. And as I mentioned this just before I went on air, Cody Rhodes probably said the most consummate professional statement in an interview, saying, look, I know he has his detractors. I know he has his fans, but if he's here to steer us in the direction where we want to go, welcome aboard. The more, the merrier. So, Stephen, do you wish to call Mulligan?
Yep. Also, I saw what Ruby wrote in the chat earlier.
What did he do?
I think it was for Liz specifically.
Oh no!
Oh God, no. What did he say? Please, what did he say? You can type it in the Discord. Oh God, no.
All right.
Oh God, no. He sent me that GIF earlier. No, I'm going to vomit. I'm going to physically vomit.
Oh no.
That's Ruby.
Yeah.
Press says, now I have an image of Hulk Hogan singing a Blink-182 song, not sure how to feel. I think you should talk about that.
Why?
Well,
Why?
because we were talking earlier about Hogan doing karaoke.
Okay.
Dan says Seth Rollins looked legit pissed at Punk's return. Yeah. Let's not forget.
It was a shoot.
Let's not forget, because of his addiction to painkillers and vodka, he can't remember his first 2 years in WWE. I'm presuming he's referring to Hogan. Dan says the sad thing is fans at AEW will never let the company live it down on how they lost Punk. He also says, now R-Truth is back. You know what would be funny? If Truth had a feud with Nikki Cross for throwing away his baby, i.e. the 24/7 championship belt. To be fair, Truth made something good out of that, and he had like the most title reigns in the company's history. Prez said, he's not a bad guy, but one of the most misunderstood guys in the wrestling industry, if not the most misunderstood of all. I didn't relate to him so much and enjoy his work as I did. Maybe I'd have a different feeling about Punk these days, but I have hope that he's learned from his anger issues of the past. Oh, Prez is referring to Lesnar. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I know Raiden has said he wants to go last with this, so Madam President, I give you the floor.
Okay, I mean, I feel like my comments last week kind of aged like really spoiled milk, but in retrospect, I've kind of been like given a bit of a, not say a reprieve, but just like some hindsight has been brought my way. Like last night, like deflated my balloon. I was like, the Survivor Series was like a 9 out of 10 pay-per-view, and then the ending happened. And just that completely popped my balloon, sucker punched me in the gut, because let's be clear on something. He's a great Punk's a good athlete. I'm not going to disrespect him on that. He's a great in-ring individual. He's a good character actor. He's burned me way too many times when it comes to all the shit he's done recently, especially in AEW, because in WWE he's not going to be able to pull that shit anymore. But I'm going to be on everybody else's radar and say wait and see. But let's just say I'm not the only one who has something to say. Give me 1 second.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Incoming Oni.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oni Rakaku. Hopefully.
You have the floor, honey. We're talking about you know who.
Everybody knows I can't stand Paul nowadays. I've been able to stand him since the lawsuit with Cole Cabana. I'm not going to talk about his time in AEW full time, like full thing. And if you want me to do that, go cry me a river. Look, Punk's back. What? I said this a few days ago in a reply, and I kind of said it like before the thing even showed. If he comes back, fine, whatever. whatever. I was just sick and tired of all the fanboys just talking about it all and all and all and all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Punk person in the world. I will again. I'll go on record and say what pissed me off more is just one person.
Mm-hmm.
Just one. Basically called him a hypocrite when he was the one that took the same damn blood money to begin with.
Uh-huh. Sounds like you named a name.
Look, y'all want to come back? Fine, that's your problem. Me, I don't give two less of a fuck. Last night, yeah, it shocked the world. Will it change anything? I don't know. All I know is this. I need to know the details of this contract, how he came back, and everything else. Seth Rollins, Cody is, from what I'm hearing, legitimately pissed. Dave Nelson's like, oh, it's the work, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's until like last minute, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when Shawn didn't know.
Yeah.
Until like last minute or something.
Yeah.
Drew literally flipped off as soon as the match was over, and then found out even further, he just left out the fucking building.
Mm-hmm.
So I can bitch, complain, whatever about Punk. I can literally go back to the old Oni and bitch about Punk until the cows come home.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, if I do apologize, my friend. Forget it. CM Punk is Hulk Hogan.
I said this last week.
Okay. CM Punk is like Hulk Hogan to almost every factor to a T.
Yeah.
How he came back, how he came back, and that. Wait, I have it on mute the entire time.
No, you haven't.
Sorry, I didn't look like it was.
No. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Only needs to get a bit closer to the mic, though.
Go on. Did you hear any of what he just said?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Look, CM Punk is basically Hulk Hogan at this rate. How he came back, how he's been polarized, how half the entire locker room hates his guts.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically, half the world hates Punk. Yeah. I said half, not the whole.
Yeah.
Because the other half. Okay, let me go. 1/3 of the world hates Punk. 1/3 of the world is in the middle. It's like, oh, we're fans, but we want to see how this goes. And the last third is CM Punk fanboys that can't get their heads out of their fucking asses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that's true. Trust me, I should know. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter the last few days. But at the same time, CM Punk is also Stone Cold Steve Austin when he returned. Did he pay a fine? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of Punk pointing with Paul and Paul doing the same thing with Punk, it's polarizing to the one where Vince shook Bret's hand when they did the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of a bygone, let bygones be bygones thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy the fact that Punk may have changed if we haven't seen him get fired from AEW about, what was it, 3 months ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
2 or 3. After somebody just basically told him, real glass! Go cry me a river! Yes, that is becoming one of my memes. Thank you very much. But yeah, Punk is still his own worst enemy. I'm hoping that in his contract that there's a strict thing he has to do. Otherwise, he'll be out the door faster than he was out the door in AEW.
Okay.
And considering I'm hearing that offer a summer play to get Punk in.
Yeah.
It tells you something. To me, this is Punk's last chance. He either plays with the system, or or he's out the door. I'm not defending WWE on this one. Even we all didn't know that until literal last minute. And the ones that did know were ready to give up. They were literally ready to fucking give up. So, I know I'm being rambling, nonsensical, and all that. In my opinion, Punk doesn't need to be there. But I'm not in charge of creative. I'm not in charge of the contract process. I'm not in charge of business. That's the biggest difference between me, WWE, and AEW. He was the ones that had Punk fired instead of Tony Khan. Tony Khan was just smoking gun. That just makes it even more polarizing to me. That Zaslav was the one that fired the gun. Look, y'all want to Punk back? Fuck. Whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you can and can't do. I'm too old for this shit. My time is tapped in terms of being this polarizing figure of anger, rage, and all of that.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No.
If I have to say at least one thing, it's going to be one Ryan Satin.
Oh, this.
You go on Twitter.
Oh.
You go on Twitter. Huh?
I think we know what you're talking about. The one who's the hypocrite.
Let me just go ahead and get this. I've said my piece about Punk. I'm going to leave it at that. But I am going to say this, and I'm kind of hoping somebody clips it.
Okay.
Ryan Satin, you want to sit there and talk about Punk all you want. Well, I don't blame you for being mad. I kind of blame you for being a fucking hypocrite. Now, granted, I could be called a hypocrite as well, but here's the thing. I didn't work for WWE. I didn't take the blood money like you did. And sit there kissing every executive's ass, hand over foot. Now, if WWE ever offered me a contract, yeah, sure, I'll take it. I'll kiss your ass, because that's money. But you sit there after you lost your job and just criticize everything they did after you took their money, which, let's be honest, everybody else does. But more criticizing Punk for what he said about the blood money and him going back. Dude, you're a fucking hypocrite for doing that. So why don't you just do us all a fucking favor, go into that fucking corner you made yourself in and sit there, you fucking bastard! You fucking bastard!
Okay, is that it? All you wanted to say?
Oh,
God.
and Ryan, one more thing. Go cry me a river.
Okay, and that was Oni Rakaku, everybody.
Oni Rakaku, unhinged. I will say, and this
I
is.
think we're good. Yeah. Okay, he's going now. All right.
I will say, that was more composed, rational, and level-headed than I was expecting from him. So, kudos to Oni. That's it. And now we let out the Raiden of War.
Uh-oh.
That it?
Where to begin?
Oh boy.
Granted, last time we talked about Punk, I pulled the mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to deal with it. But all the stuff I see online, oh, baby, I had to talk about it. First things first. CM Punk fans, touch grass. Please, touch grass. The amount of kissing ass I've seen from the homies on the server. Oh, that. Oh, that does not surprise me. You know, I'm not gonna go hard on the guy. You know, he's made his bed. He's lied in it. Whatever. Make your money. I mean, sure. Go back to the company that has almost had you go crazy. And the fact that the same doctor still works there, giving you a Z-Pack.
That's a very valid point.
Oh, man. I ain't your daddy or anything, brother, but hey, that's on you, dog. I hope you change, Mr. Phil. I really hope you do. Because shit you pulled in AEW, we're happy that you're out of our company. But you're in another company that's for layman's terms much worse. I don't give a rat's ass what people say that WWE is actually doing good. You just signed a deal with the devil. I ain't talking about Vince, brother. Before I go, what you were saying?
Something I should bring up. This is not the first time a very polarizing figure left WWE, sued them, and then came back years later, lest we forget Sable for suing them for sexual harassment in 1999 and then coming back 4 years later.
Oh, I forgot about Sable.
She literally came in at the tail end of the reveal of Tori Wilson's Playboy cover magazine.
Ooh.
Which then began that implied lesbian angle between the two of them. Because that bikini contest from Judgment Day 2003, that would not happen today. Especially the outfit Tori was wearing at the end. Poor King looked like he was gonna faint. Because let's just call it for how it is. What Tori was wearing at the end, it was basically pieces of string for all intents and purposes, and considering there were kids in the audience, it's a different time. But today they'd be like, Tori, you're covering up. No discussion. But yeah, Raiden, sorry, didn't mean to step on you there. It's just a point I had to bring up.
No biggie. Oh, Seth.
Uh-oh.
Words cannot explain how much I do not like you. To see you act like a total baby during that entrance. Oh, man, did that make me happy. For all the shit talking you talked about Punk over the years, especially early in the year during the Rumble.
Oh yeah.
How's that humble pie taste now, bitch? Huh? How's that humble pie taste? You know, I don't wish bad on others, but I hope. Because let's be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a world champion. You're just a bridesmaid. You always have. Always will be.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh,
I apologize for nothing.
That's a burn.
Mm-hmm.
And since Oni kind of dealt with Mr. Satin, let me take a crack at him.
Uh-oh.
Proceed.
You know, Satin, for all the times you've worked with the WWE, the times that you do all this, like, grow the fuck up. Like, legit, grow the fuck up and just suspend your Twitter for a bit and just go outside and have the most fun you have. But you want to act like a little baby. Here's your bib. Here's your diaper. Use that for a lifetime. And to close off this, Phil Brooks. I hope everything you've done was. I hope you do have a good career. Because if you fuck up once more, there is no coming back from that.
Nope.
So go ahead, enjoy second or third revamp of your career. Because look in my eyes, what do I see? A cult of a former personality.
We went from burning to scorching.
I've learned to use my words instead of raging.
Would I be right in thinking all of you would like a palate cleanser right about now?
Yes, please.
Sure.
All right. Hang on. No, YouTube, don't start one until I tell you to. Crying out loud.
Oh, MJ, please promise me that you're gonna clip this because I can show my friends about this.
I may do in a bit. Just reading a couple of things. Dan said he couldn't hear Oni to be fair, I should have told him much earlier to move to the microphone, so that one's on me.
I apologize.
It's alright.
I thought it'd be loud enough to hear.
Dan says, I have to disagree. I don't blame Seth for being angry at Punk taking away his thunder during the night, and he especially feels bad for Orton, considering that was Orton's first pay-per-view appearance since...
Well,
I think at this point, Randy Orton's at the point of his career where he doesn't give a fuck.
yeah.
He literally, when Punk came out, Orton grabbed the chair that was in the ring, folded it out, sat down, waved at him, and Punk waved back.
Nice. All right, I'm at 0.
I'm at 0.
All done. Okay. All right, I'm at 0.
Steve?
Hang on.
Sure.
Okay. Yep, at 0.
3, 2, 1, play. There's no easy way for me to say this. This movie is a hot, steaming mess. When the reveal happened for what would follow 2013's Man of Steel, fans and audiences in general were amazed that we would finally see these two on the big screen in the same frame for the first time ever in a live-action movie. We were hyped. And then we saw the damn thing. My initial reaction with the opening credits was seeing the origin, yet again, of which I rolled my eyes dumbfounded that we were witnessing an origin story that almost feels as old as time itself. Okay, I grant that's a big exaggeration, but the point still stands. Yep. Everyone knows Batman's origin. Mm-hmm. We've seen it in comics, TV shows like the 90s animated series, and in 2 movies from '89 and Batman Begins. We know the story. We don't need it told again. One of the biggest problems I have as well is that it's one movie that should have been 3. We get the elements adapted from The Dark Knight Returns, which is obviously what director Zack Snyder wanted to do, but the problem with these elements, they don't have the same resonance from the original graphic novel by Frank Miller, in where Batman took on Superman because he aligned himself with a government he did not trust, and took him head on rather than saying uncle. In this, while it looks good, it just feels forced with Supes attempting to explain to Bats that Luthor had his mother, and he could have stopped the fight from happening and the two could have teamed up like they did in the Batman Superman animated feature World's Finest, which served as a preview for Season 3 of Batman the Animated Series. That was done so much better, but keep this in mind, this was by people who understand the source material and not a director who's only really useful for being an art director and QuickTime shots. And of course, the way the fight is resolved with them seemingly becoming friends allies so quickly when one tried to murder the other is just contrived, when in reality, they would table their differences for now and then sit down like adults and hash out their issues. And then we get into the elements of Superman Doomsday, and I think at this point the movie just stopped caring and thought, if we're going to be careless, let's go all the way. The idea of Zod being reincarnated as an ancient Kryptonian deformity is certainly different, but it contradicts the story of the character in question, when he was basically an unstoppable force of nature that was sealed away by alien scientists that knew that they could not stop it. And then in comes Wonder Woman. Now, while I will say she made for an interesting addition that would essentially be the back door to her own movie, the story at this point felt way too crowded, considering that it had taken 2 hours just to reach the start of the fight, and then we had another hour of this, especially if you were watching the extended cut. And that's another thing. It's one thing to have, say, 10 to 15 minutes added on just to let some sequences breathe and have better context, but with the extended runtime, it was an extra 30 minutes. That's too long. Had this been on terrestrial TV, say like ITV1, in the UK, the runtime would have either been greatly reduced, or it would have been played over 2 evenings. You gotta take commercials into
Look
account.
at what they did to Dances with Wolves back in the 90s, where that was played over 2 evenings.
Yep.
Bats and Supes come off as hypocrites. Batman feels he's just as justified to act like a murderous individual, with Bats ignoring what Superman attempts to say and just unleashes violence, of which Supes does the same in kind. They basically take the law into their own hands and they criticize each other of doing the same thing. This is where it feels most un-Superman-like, as that is not his MO. Yes, he took Zod's life in Man of Steel, but that was a situation where he had no choice in sparing the life of innocents by killing the last of his kind. And good lord, the amount of hypocrisy from either side is unbearable. You have Bats criticizing the way Supes has the power to wipe out everyone after witnessing what took place in Gotham when Zod and him were doing battle. Now, on the one hand, I'll give the man this. It would leave most people questioning if Superman could be trusted. What I don't think helps Bat's case when the movie starts is that he's very jaded and embittered after 20 years as a vigilante, where he's kind of lost sight of his humanity and now he's branding people with his symbol, which, dependent on what continuity of him you followed, is not something you'd associate with him.
We need to talk.
Of course, Clark begins questioning why Batman is allowed to get away with this, since most law enforcement don't seem to do anything to hold him accountable. And what earned this version of Superman the unflattering moniker of the Batman clone in blue and red was this exchange.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
So he essentially
Clark would
threatens
not
him
say
with
that.
death after being disgusted with the brutal tactics the Dark Knight handled with his vigilantism? Supes, love you, but you're basically guilty of doing the same thing. All Supes had to say to him is, I'm putting an end to this because I will come get you, and it won't take much for me to bring you to jail. Just saying.
She with you?
This is so dumb.
This line was just ludicrously stupid.
Oh god, yeah, I was like,
knows
why?
Bruce is Superman, and Bruce already had interactions with Diana, so for Bats to act like he doesn't know her is asinine. The whole shtick of Lex getting Supes fighting Bats just feels odd, because based on the history laid down, Lex has no beef with him. This just lays further into the whole pointless angle of the fight. Luthor's shtick is having issues with beings of higher power, and to have him set up a fight between Bats and Supes makes no sense. And then
even the Batman
Martha.
did it better.
Oh no.
There is a lot to
no.
unpack with this. On the one hand, it does seem absurd when you first hear it and you see Bruce's point of view in why would he say that name so specifically. It's only when Lois explains by pleading for his life that Martha,
is the name of Clark's Earth Mother, and then Batman is hit with an epiphany. And since he had been lamenting over his mother's death several decades before, he realized he would have become the very monster that took his mother's life. And upon realizing this, he throws away the spear as he would have robbed a mother of her son. I get that it broke his rage, but it just comes right out of the blue, and the fact that they put their differences aside so quick just felt contrived. Yes, there were things at stake, but the fact that they never said, "We're resolving this later," felt less than believable. And the fact that memes have been made out of this just shows what the internet thought of it. To bottom line this, it's like I said to begin with, this movie is a hot, steaming mess. So many plot holes, contrived angles, and inconsistencies that really bring the quality of DC down. It's sad when they had done movies better from 2005 to 2012 with the Dark Knight trilogy. But unlike Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan actually knew what he was doing.
Yep.
We've seen some amazing performances of the Dark Knight. We've had the very simple and stoic portrayal from Michael Keaton, the reserved Val Kilmer, the dual contrast of Christian Bale, and now, finally,
nice
someone
picture.
who seems to be good as both the billionaire and the Bat. Like Keaton, Affleck makes Bruce seem
Dogma
most
would not happen
comfortable behind
today.
the cape and cowl,
No.
and when he's doing research at his computer in the Batcave. You believe the conviction from Affleck of why Superman is a threat, and he's committed to the task. You know, I've seen a lot in my time as a patron of the cinematic theater, but I never thought I would see a performance that was most un-Superman-like than this one.
Yeah.
It's no secret that this iteration of The Last Son of Krypton has
I
conflicting
really hope this
emotions of
Warhammer
who and
movie
what
gets off
he
the
is,
ground.
and knowing that he's the last of his
I
kind.
know, right?
Now he has the complication of whether people of Earth want to accept him or not. And even though the material is completely contrived, Cavill, at the very least, takes what he's given and makes it seem plausible. In all honesty, I would have loved to have seen more material and
Irons'
screen time
Alfred.
given to this incarnation.
Yeah,
of
I'll give it
Alfred
that.
Pennyworth.
He's a good Alfred.
If Sir Michael Caine's take was much more upfront and at times confrontational with Bruce, then this version of Alfred has no filter nor chill with Bruce in telling him exactly how he feels.
Well, I'm sorry for listening in, but I've tracked the Russians' phone to a warehouse near the port. You're locked onto it.
I don't deserve you, Alfred.
No, sir, you don't. Thermal imaging is showing me 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor. Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd? Go upstairs and socialize. Some young lady from Metropolis will make you honest. In your dreams, Alfred.
Sassy and sarcastic.
So, sarcastic? Just throwing that out there.
And now we deal with the elephant.
Oh
in the room.
no.
I appreciate
God,
people are entitled to their artistic freedom and temperament, but this was not Lex Luthor.
I like him
The
as an
nicest
actor,
thing
but
you
this.
can say about Jesse's portrayal of Lex Luthor is imagine someone playing the role
Honestly,
of Lex
this
Luthor,
feels like he was
but he hasn't been
channeling
told a
the
single thing
Riddler
about
and
the
not Lex
character, so he
Luthor.
said,
What the
yeah, I'll just make something up. It's not terrible by any means, but he belongs
Even
in the
John
60s
Cryer
Batman
was a better
series
Luthor
rather
than him.
than a
Oh, yeah.
2016
Yeah, how?
big budget flop. Now, for context, Eisenberg is a fantastic actor.
Yep.
You'd need only watch his performance
Yes.
in The Social Network to know what he's truly capable
Killed that
of.
movie.
But this is almost as bad as Benicio del Toro's
Oh.
cast of Lawrence Talbot in 2010's
Oh,
The
no!
Wolfman. While her inclusion in the movie felt like something that could have been saved for a separate movie, her performance was stellar as someone who has her own story to tell, and it was satisfying that the first major live-action movie appearance of the character was someone who not only looked like a champion, but someone who has the grace, quality, and class of someone altruistic. Given that it was the middle
Just
of the
don't wanna talk about
2010s
her
by this
anymore,
point,
just like, again,
when
that's personal
time
reasons.
and technology
Don't.
had advanced enough to where you could tell the
Granted.
story the way that writers from comics and
that's
animated
not safe for
series
Twitch thing,
had
so-
told for years. The
Fair
flying
enough.
sequences are awesome with Superman once again, as I think it's very difficult to screw these effects up in this day and age. I thought the voice changer in Batman's suit is simple
Damn it,
yet
Lois.
genius. Because with that type of tech, you'd think Batmen of the past would have this to disguise their voice, whereas in previous iterations it involved the actors speaking with a lower register, and in the case of Bale, sounding like he had gravel in his voice.
Because someone at some point would recognize their voice, and so to have a voice changer where it adds a metallic tone to his delivery is very subtle, and it keeps his anonymity. Also, as much as I am an advocate for the black bat suit, especially in 1989,
it is still awesome, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Nope.
The black and grey suit definitely adds a more intimidating demeanor, especially with his first appearance with this menacing visual after bat branding a felon.
This is nightmare fuel.
Oh no.
Yeah, that'll keep people awake at night. And the fight in the warehouse. This is the most Batman fight I have seen in a long time. We've seen before with the more colourful approach in the Schumacher years and the down-to-earth realistic take in the Dark Knight trilogy, but this is the most badass comic book authentic looking Batman fight sequence. Here you have this hulking bruiser build, and he is in charge of fighting moves that Kenshiro and Vegeta would be proud of.
Hey, how do you think this is gonna go down? They're already dead. Bitchin', I'll get some popcorn.
And just for the fun of it. Okay, that's too much lens flare.
Oh my, I didn't realize we were watching a J.J. Abrams flick.
Yeah, folks, lens flare
Oh
is
God,
fine,
too many
but
lens
it's
flare.
sparingly and to where it gets the most effect, and I felt like there was too much of that in this movie. I love the Batmobile.
Same.
I feel like this is what would happen if you combined the Burton-mobile from 1989 with elements of the tank from The Dark Knight Returns mixed in with the Tumbler. This thing would more than likely give Kit from Knight Rider a run for his money.
I love the Tumbler.
It'll be close though. My money would be on Kit.
The mech suit is a
Unbiased,
nice
what of
homage
it?
to the battle suit from the graphic novel, and I do like this very quick nod to the graphic novel. It's blink and you miss it. Safe to say, the effects are one of the very few
I did see
saving
that. I
graces
did see
with
that.
this
That was
movie.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
The thunder and all that.
Even though the writing was half-baked, the score at the very least by Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL was pleasing. The gothic opera moments where you'd see bats light up the signal and to see him look up at the night sky for soups definitely added a more theatrical tone in that was setting the stage of an epic confrontation between two legendary men. The score in the warehouse scene definitely matched the intensity of the fight as it helped to put you in the moment. Wonder Woman's theme was the biggest highlight of the score as painting this image of this mythic figure of power, grace, and agility, and that it definitely amped up the fight with Doomsday. The downer was when you hear these slower pieces of Superman's theme that didn't feel as bombastic and uplifting as it had been previously heard in Man of Steel. The only time where I feel this is used appropriately is in the funeral scene where Clark's real body is buried in Smallville, whereas an official casket with Superman's shield is laid to rest in Metropolis. So, the score is fine, but some fine tweaking was needed as there were aspects that did the movie a disservice. The movie took in a profit of $873.6 million against a budget of $250 to $325 million. Adjusted for 2023 inflation, and it would now be worth $1 billion. Lindy West in The Guardian said, 153 minutes of a grown man whacking two dolls together, asking, as the definition of movie changed from motion picture story that a human wrote on purpose to only 700 tangible related 12-second grey and red vignettes. David Bentoncourt of The Washington Post and Scott Mendelson of Forbes praised the film's visual spectacle and performances from Affleck and Godot, though Mendelson also called the film an utter mess of thinly sketched characters, haphazard plotting, surprising, jumbled action. Critics were very critical of Eisenberg's portrayal, citing that this was closer to the Joker than Luthor.
Yeah.
Sonny Bunch of The Washington Post lamented that, as the film progresses, Lex degenerates into a gibbering madman,
Branded.
some strange mix of the Riddler and the Joker with a little bit of Mark Zuckerberg added for flair. Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune wrote, a near total drag. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice plays like a loose, unofficial $250 million remake of The Odd Couple, in which Oscar and Felix are literally trying to kill each other. The movie was followed with the very polarizing 2017's Justice League that was directed by Joss Whedon as Snyder was attending to personal family matters. And the movie was seen as being too compared to 2012's The Avengers, with it being more quippy and Bruce Wayne acting more like RDJ's Tony Stark, which seemed out of character and a contrived tone compared to what Snyder laid down. A trending hashtag of Release the Snyder Cut made its rounds, and Snyder brought back the cast for a 4-hour extended version in which he told the story the way he envisioned, with tone, elements, and aesthetics restored, which was more well received than the Whedon cut. There was the hope that there would be a second Justice League.
I enjoyed it.
Pain was put to those plans when
didn't
Warner
have any
Brothers
issues.
hit the reset button with The Flash
I wish
being
it wasn't
the
4
last
hours,
movie
but,
of this
you know.
version of the DCU,
Yeah.
with James Gunn being one of the co-heads of the newly formed DC Studios. Well, depending on whom you speak to, the movie has been enjoyed since 2016 on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. I'm MJ Knight, and this was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Watch for the rating.
Oh.
Next time on Real Features, we conclude with the 20th season finale of the 2022's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Can the Hedgehog with attitude surpass what he achieved with his cinematic debut? Feel the need for speed with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Only on Real Features.
Can't wait for that one.
Yep. I can still remember watching that because it was on the 4DX screen. That and the spit take gag actually reacted with the 4DX screen because you had like water jets. That made me jump.
Okay.
So every time Robotnik did a spit take, it would like squirt you in the face like that.
Okay, restoring the lo-fi. Sean just said, Joker won't be happy if Superman killed Batman. No, he wouldn't. I bet this Lex didn't steal 40 cakes. Okay.
Oh, God, no. I understand.
Okay. So Stephen, thoughts on the movie when it originally came out? Your thoughts on it now? Thoughts on the review? Oh no.
Can't say that much of it when it actually came out. It felt as if, once again, one of those films where it was juggling too much at once. All these years later, it just showed how much of DC didn't have much of a strategy going into it. Well, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
The only good things to come out of that film were Wonder Woman, which was a tease for her own movie, and Jeremy Irons as Alfred.
He had no chill whatsoever in that movie. It was like, this is just delightful. Happens to us all, Master Wayne. Even you got too old to die young, and not for a lack of trying. It's just
As for the review,
Go.
I love the humor. I loved the humor that you were able to input with that, especially with the Adam West reference.
I just looked and thought, okay, since the movie's not going to take itself seriously, I thought, I've never done a 60s Batman reference, but I thought, how would it look from a modern? So it wouldn't be like, wow, zap, bang. It'd be like, angst, vengeance, justice.
Justice.
It's just one of those, like, this is begging for this to be done. It needs to happen. I appreciate that. Raiden, your same questions to you.
I thank the Lord above that I didn't watch this in the theaters. Oh my god.
I saw this on Easter Sunday of that year.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But we had Domino's for afterwards, so it kind of made up for it.
That's cool. I don't know, just seeing Hollis in the movie, like, yo, how did they get this mess up? And I blame one person. Zack Snyder.
Yep.
I don't know what's his obsession with turning just superheroes into godlike figures. I'm like, dude, can you get your head up out your own ass? Like, damn. Like, okay. Your last movie, Sucker Punch. Okay. I only care for Sucker Punch because of the action scenes and all that jazz, you know? But, oh man. Oh man. Your review was great. It was good to hear Biggs with Vegeta and Kenshiro. Vegeta, I will continue to work on that voice, you know, especially with the horse and gruffness. But Kenshiro voice is down pat because it's like it's more deep. So it was just cool. It was cool to hear because I like constructive criticism when it's needed. But yeah, review itself is great. I can understand your pain review and all that because oh my god. But from what I've heard, especially with James Gunn's version of like Superman, I've heard Nicholas Hoult is going to be Lex Luthor, and I've seen what he can do. So
yes,
that is such a great choice.
So he's pretty good. So far, I like what they're doing I like what he's doing with the casting, making him a little bit younger. That reminds me of My Adventure with Superman. So, I mean, you know, I'm a big Batman mark, but I'm really happy to see the beginning resurgence of Superman itself. So,
yeah,
Superman for me, it can be hard to, you know, really get the character down pat, but at least with cartoons and some forms of media, especially Smallville, I feel like it's down pat. So hopefully we get that. Like I said before, whole review is great. Like I said, whole review is great. I thank the Lord every day. I did not watch that movie because oh man, my points was just like insane.
Yeah.
Also, back to Jesse Eisenberg. Like I said in the review, the fact that John freaking Cryer, and hold on for a sec. Never mind. John Cryer, Alan from 2.5 Men, did a better job than Jesse Eisenberg. In a TV show, you're doing your job wrong, very wrong. Seriously, the fact. I can go all day on how good John Cryer was as Lex Luthor.
Considering he also played Ducky in Pretty in Pink and Lenny Luthor in Superman 4.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no, the Dude of Steel.
Yeah, like I said, the whole review is great. Thank the Lord every day I didn't watch that movie. Great. And also cannot wait for the Sonic 2 review. For me, I think that was the last thing I watched in the theater in 2022. And I'm glad I did. It's fun overall, so can't wait for that.
And last but never least, Madam President, same questions to you.
Okay, so I had thankfully the lucky strike of not having to see that movie in theaters because Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, there again, like some people point out, there are good spots in that movie. Sassy Alfred for the win. I liked Wonder Woman at the time. Now I have personal issues with the actress, but again, that's neither here nor there. But I did like her appearance in the movie at the time. Ben Affleck tried, okay? It's kind of like a little difficult trying to top, I'm not wearing hockey pants. I'm sorry. Christian Bale will never live that down. I'm sorry.
Nope.
But again, he made an attempt, and again, I don't hate it. It's just the problem with the movie is the direction, because like Raiden said, Zack Snyder keeps trying to make these heroes gods, where it's like, I understand that for some stories like Watchmen, I get it, we're supposed to see like different reasons. So like, again, it doesn't make any sense for these characters right now, unless you're readapting Kingdom Come. That doesn't work.
No.
Just, I don't know. But again, I do enjoy some of Zack Snyder's work, not more recent, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just, it's again, just, I don't know. And when it comes to the review, you did a very good job. You found a great balance of humor and informative facts, because it helps, and your own thoughts. Again, I lost it at justice. But yeah, all in all, great review, and I'm actually looking forward to hearing you talk about Sonic 2 in a review capacity.
Thanks. Ruby just asked, would Kid rather Michael Keaton or George Clooney? Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Keaton for the win.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. No, you are not.
No.
That'd be like Goku coming in, Team 4-star Goku is like, hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. There's Gohan. No, you are not. Also, just speaking of Gohan a second, can we just take a moment to appreciate in the Boo bits when, Majin Buu says, hey, kid, you need an adult? No, I am an adult. It's like, perfect. Full circle character growth for him. I'm like, that was brilliant. The only thing that annoys me with Boo bits is they're not really doing it the same way as they did with all the other seasons, but I think we probably know why, because at least with Small Digestible Bit, it keeps Toei Animation and Toriyama off their backs. That's probably the only reason why they're doing it. That review kind of went down to the wire, because I actually did some re-recordings this evening, only because it was during the Jesse Eisenberg analysis of the character. I didn't notice this until actually playing it back, because I was, checking everything through just to go through the render. I heard like a tap in the background. It's probably like where I inadvertently put my hand on the desk, and given how Blue Yetis are very sensitive to the sounds that are around them, I thought, right, do a quick retake, have your hands, not resting on anything, this, that, pop that in, came out just fine. It's one of the reasons why I have to go through so many filter settings, because there's the recording, then the amping, then the noise gate, the reduction, compressor, limiter, normalizing, and then 2 equalization boosts. But it's to get it to sound as professional as possible. The only thing I find now with the voiceovers, I actually have to bring the volume down in Vegas rendering, because I actually made them too loud. But it's one of the beauties of editing in video editors, is you can bring the volume down on certain things. And again, with the 60s Batman reference, it was staring me right in the face. I just thought, fuck it, just do this. Oh dear. But no. I would have preferred to have gotten that review done a few weeks back, but because I had time off from work and I was having time off from doing the things I would normally do on downtime, it's just like, you know what, I just want to have time to relax for a change. So, that's where we sit. That'll pretty much conclude for this evening. Let me see who we can raid tonight. Let's see.
Oh, here's a question from Ruby. Who would Kit rather prefer? Oh, Liz. Michael Keaton or George Clooney?
We already had that one.
I think we already answered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keaton, all the way. Sorry.
Sorry, way with the berries.
I'm not gonna kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell your friends about me. Who are you? I'm Batman. It's like, it's subtle, straight to the point. Bale tried in Batman Begins, but it's just like, I'm Batman. It's like,
A
for
It just sounds like he's got a cough.
I could be Batman.
cold.
No, absolutely not.
Well, he already is when he went to Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
And he's not doing Arkham City.
No.
Nope,
As far as
not
I
right
know.
now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 12 years on and he's still letting that thing continue to grow. Good lord. All it was, just an episode of RDR. I happened to be sort of, I think it was just either fatigued or just wasn't on it, having a lot of energy, and I was trying to say Arkham City and it came as Arkham City. And it's just like, even my brother teases that from time to time. It's like, dude, it's not 2011 anymore. Let it go. But then I responded in kind with him. And tonight, on my Twitch stream, I will be playing Hulk Hogan's main event. It's like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Well, considering he's got a lot of games that he needs to get off his list at the moment, that may be a far long while yet.
Yeah.
So we have the list of Jericho, so now we have the list of Oni.
Yes.
Considering he so far we've from what I can recall, there's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, God of War 2018, and Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cosmic Shake, SpongeBob.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you can remember, Lids?
Well, not off the top of my head, but he does have some other things that he wants to.
Oh
done.
yes, the Back to the Yakuza series for Like a Dragon and Ishin.
Ah.
Yeah, like the Dragon, Ethan, Gaiden, and Infinite Wealth. Yeah, he's gonna be busy.
Yeah, he's still got Like a Dragon to finish as well.
Yes, he does.
First Like a Dragon.
Right, just a heads up. Yeah, Ruby just said Stevie has a list, remember? Just a heads up, there may be the possibility we're not live next Sunday, only because I will have an errand to run during the day, and as a result, I will actually be having to catch up on sleep. So I will try. I would try and let people know at least 1 to 2 hours beforehand, only because realistically I need about 5 to 7 hours sleep. It depends on what happens when I'm at work and what have you, because some nights are more draining than others, so take that as you will. But yeah. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep you in the loop, but next week might not happen. And let's see, how far are we? How far are we away from? And of course, we're only 3 weeks away from the season finale, because something's just occurred to me. Well, I'm not going to go into deep IRL details, but Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday this year.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true.
Family reminded me.
And for reasons I will not go into, I won't be working that particular day. So this is something we'll talk about over the next week or two, because it helps if that if everyone is in agreement. Do we do one for Christmas Eve? Do we not do one for Christmas Eve? So the season finale might happen on Christmas Eve, so that's at least 4 weeks away this evening. So it'll give me time to work on Sonic 2, because as people know, my sleeping schedule is a little bit all over the place. So that'll just give me time just to work on it, get it polished up, and then I think after that point, we probably won't come back until, let me just see, what are the dates for January? We'll either come back January 28 or maybe February 4, because then it gives us a chance to rest, and in turn...
About February.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just another question, MJ. Will there be an end of panel this year?
I think what we will do, if it's not next Sunday, which will be December 3, it will be December 10. Because, like I say, I have an errand to run. Not going to say specifically, because it's just one of those rules. You don't bring IRL onto the internet. It's just, you don't do it. So yeah, either next Sunday or December 10. That'll be the end of year panel. Sadly, I won't be providing anything. I will just simply be the host, because I haven't been to the theater at all this year. A lot of it is to do with the cost of living, and I think I can say that without bringing too much IRL in, because that's happening everywhere. Because the cost of living is so expensive now, and Cabot Circus was dealt a blow in Bristol. The showcase closes in 3 days.
Oh no!
And ironically, I had a visit there around latter half of August.
And I really love that cinema too.
Yeah. Shame.
But Cabot's have said they will have a renewed cinema there, and maybe it'll be Odeon, maybe it'll be The View, formerly known as Warner Village, which, personally speaking, I think that sounds better, but that's just me. But that's what, that was always one of the biggest centerpiece selling points about Cabot Circus, was having that major multiplex cinema there. And I know they're saying, yeah, but we got streaming. It's like, yeah, but here's the thing. With streaming, you do have the convenience of pausing it, but then that's part of the problem. When you're in the cinema, you have to stay in focus. You have to sit there and take everything in. You have to keep your phone off. You have to not talk and pay attention to all the other sounds going all around outside. Your focus is on the big screen there, and this is the other thing that they don't really seem to focus on when we bring cinema up. Cinema gets you out of the house for a few hours. You go in and you get to escape reality. As Liz said, you come in and you get to switch your brain off for a little while. Just relax. You don't really get that chance at home. Not really.
No.
So, if it's The View, great, because then that means I don't have to go up all the way to Cribbs Causeway, which for me involves either 1 or 2 train rides and a bus, or it'll involve 2 bus rides. Either way, and especially the bus ride from Parkway to Causeway, that takes the better part of 30 minutes, provided there's no roadworks, and provided the drivers don't decide to speed over speed bumps. And I'm like, what is up with this? Yeah.
Oh crap!
And the last time I was on the return ride, to get from Cribbs Causeway to the railway station, I was operating on fumes, because that day I've been awake 22 hours. Not recommended. Long story short, I was looking to get a new TV for my apartment because, for reasons unknown, my previous one decided to pack it in literally 2 weeks before Christmas, and I'm like, thanks. It's like, really could have done without that. So go, TV shopping in the new year, because, and this is just my personal recommendations, not necessarily work for other people. If you're going to buy a new TV, you need to see it in person, because it's all very well reading the reviews saying, oh, this has great picture quality, this, that, until you see it for yourself. Because how do you know if you read, say, mega, tech critic says, oh, this JVC is great. You look at it in person, it's like, this is a pile of crap. So that day was spent around window shopping, and by the time I got back to my apartment, I was tired and wired at the same time. After being awake for nearly a full day. And I go to sleep probably, I don't know, close to 6 or 7 in the evening. I kid you not, my body clock wakes me up at 11:45 in the evening. I'm like, oh, come on. But at the time, Nuclear Shark was having a stream going on. I'm like, this is all right to wake up for. So, plus it's Amanda, so we like her. Whether she'll be doing another charity stream for Christmas Eve, I don't know. But I might partake in there because last year she was trying to raise money for the Marine Toys for Tots charity, just so that kids in kindergarten could get toys at Christmas where others couldn't provide for them. She really wanted to hit her target of $500. She just scratched $350. So I kind of felt bad for her. So if she does another one this year, hopefully she hits her target. So yeah. Right. Daisy's not online this evening, but the little lemon bun is, and she is playing Super Mario RPG. So we're gonna go raid her.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, lemon bun is just oh, Peach's VTubers just come online as well. Let me just see.
God damn it, Jack! Get out of my head.
I'm just gonna see if she's just like setting up, or if she's just gone in. I'm waiting for this commercial to clear at the moment, and it's that Doritos commercial where somebody's having, they're eating it and it's a loud crunch on the other end.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's irritating. It says stream starting. I don't know. See, because normally when people are doing like the whole starting screen, I mean, with us we try to keep it as short running as possible because, oh, hang on. Oh, she's online.
Yay!
Okay,
Yay.
in which case we will go raid Peach's VTuber. Very sweet girl. Does a lot of ASMR stuff on occasion. Safe for work ASMR, I will add, because there are some ASMR VTubers that let's put it this way, you think you're watching something else.
Right.
We will say nothing more about that. And just before we go to hit raid, do not forget to go and check out Kitsune Rakaku's Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Kitsune Rakaku. Get her up to 5,000 followers, 2,000 subs, and 453 bits. and go over to Senator Rakaku at twitch.tv/OniRakaku. Get him 1,559 follows, followed by 1,562 subscribers and 352 bits. He's listed like, this is oddly specific. It's like, hey, how come he's demanding more for you? I am Madam President. I always get more. All right. And on that note, we're going to go raid Peaches. So hopefully we'll be there for next week. But if not, we will see you on December 10 for the end of year panel if we're not available next week. So until then, good night from the night.
Good night.
Bye.
See ya.
We're going to. We're going to. I don't think they're working still.
You know what?
I don't think they're working still. It's okay. Aw, thank you. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Thank you.
Aw.
MJ Knight, I hope you had a great stream. Welcome, welcome.
Like I say, utter sweetheart.
Thank